Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Now if you saw last week's video, you will know how I have been feeling burnt out lately and just not really feeling like I should put up much of a fight anymore. And that has sort of carried on into this week. But I was getting fed up with myself even more. Now it sounds ridiculous, but maybe a few of you have felt that when your depression is so low and your mood is so low and your willpower and you're on the verge of giving up and just not really sure how to continue this. I start to feel there's like a moment where I'm like, oh my god, just shut up. Like, I want to just shut up my own thoughts. And that's sort of a moment where I have a very slim chance to try and turn my mood around and sort of help myself out of this ditch that I've crawled myself into. Now, when your depression is at an all-time low, you have no willpower. You don't want to do anything. You want to hide away from the world. You want to escape. You just don't want to exist, really. And that doesn't work when you have to go to doctor's appointments, therapy appointments, and I have to film a video for my other channel, and then I film a video for this channel. And I needed to bring myself back sort of to life again. Now, for anyone with a mental illness, you will know that if you see somebody like a therapist or anyone like that, you will know there is only so much they can do. There is only so much talking and techniques they can give you, and there's only so much techniques you can learn from each other, and there's only so much other people can do for you when you have a mental illness. The rest is up to you. And that's why it's so hard, because when your mood and your depression is so low on a subject that has no relevance to anything. Like, my mood these past few weeks wasn't because of anything that happened. It wasn't because of something from my past. I just hit an all-time low. And they are the hardest to come back from, because you're sort of trying to fight something that you don't know existed. And it's really hard. So it's up to you to try and bring yourself back to life again and sort of get yourself on the mode again where you can use the techniques, you can use the talking therapies, you can talk to each other, and you can sort of bring yourself up to a level where you are able and sort of more willing to keep the fight going. Now, I was at a loss. I didn't know what to do. I was so fed up this past week. I'd lost it. I'd completely lost it, and I hadn't been this low in a while. And you almost forget how to... You think that once you've hit rock bottom, you will remember how you crawled yourself out of it, so you can remember if it ever happens again. But you don't, because it's never quite the same every time you hit it. And I was just at a loss of how to bring myself back up. I wasn't interested in anything. I didn't want to film for my other channel. I didn't want to film for this channel. I just didn't want to exist. I just wanted to be wrapped up in a cocoon and left somewhere on my own where no one could find me, no one could talk to me. And that was when I had that, oh, for God's sake, just shut up moment. And I woke up the other day and I thought it was just going to be another horrible day, and I was really sort of low, but I wanted some footage for my other channel. And I was talking to my mum, and she goes, why don't we go to Ripley? Now, for those who don't live in like North Yorkshire, Ripley is a little village, and it's world famous for its ice cream, and it's absolutely delicious. And we've been going there ever since I can remember. Ever since I was little, we used to go there to walk around Ripley to get an ice cream, and we've been on school trips there, and we haven't been in a while. So I was like, oohing and ahhing, my anxiety was acting up, and I was just like, you know what, no, do it, let's do it. So we got in the car and we drove there, and it was just what I needed. Sometimes you need to force yourself into life again, and what I mean by that is sometimes you can do all the techniques, you can do something a day that scares you, you can do all the talking, you can do all, waiting and just meditation and all this. But sometimes when your mood is that low, you have to just look at yourself and say enough is enough, and you have to sort of force yourself, drag yourself into life. You have to inject yourself into life to be able to sort of restart that fire that's inside of you to want you to fight, where you can get up to using techniques and all that. And that was what Ripley did for me. I got more and more happy as the journey progressed, watching all the scenery, just chatting to my mum, which I hadn't done like a good long chat in a while because I'd obviously been hiding away. And we got closer and closer, and it just, all the roads brought back little flashbacks of my happy childhood from with my sisters and my mum. And then we got there and we had an ice cream, and it was so undeniably peaceful. We had such a lovely time. And when we got back to the car and on the way back, I was smiling, and I hadn't smiled like a full-blown smile in a long while. And I noticed that when I got back home, I was just so excited to see the footage of what I got, and I wanted to edit it there and then because I just wanted to see it all and I wanted to relive it. And I was so excited. And then I was sort of scared about waking up this morning because I was like, is it going to be back to the depressing thought? But when I got up this morning, I noticed, I was like, right, I've got to film a video for Sprinkle of Courage, I've got to do this. And I was more energized in a way to get things done. And I just noticed that all of a sudden, because I'd forced myself to go back into life, I sort of had reignited that fire that keeps you going, keeps the fight going within you. And all of a sudden I was willing to get up to film a video. I was willing to be more sociable. I wanted to get things done, and I wanted to continue fighting. And those low depressing thoughts weren't as low. I mean, obviously they're still very, very low within me, and I've still got a long way to go till I'm back on a safe level. But I've taken like a step forward, just a tiny little baby step forward from where I was. And that might not seem a lot to a lot of people, but to a few people who know what I'm feeling will know that just a tiny baby step makes all the difference. And today I was just happy, and I know that my mood is going to dip at some point. I know that. Everybody knows that's what happens in the mental health world. But I also know that I've brought myself just a little bit of step forward into that fighting zone that needs to be. And I know that by filming this video and talking about my feelings and just having that socially with my mum yesterday and editing the vlog and then interacting with my dog, and it's all helping bring me out a few more baby steps at a time into that fighting area where I have enough to go back to using the techniques that I've learned over the years and the talking therapies. And it was just what I needed, and that is what I've learned. And I've never really understood it when people have told me that sometimes you just have to do something, and you do. I was very against going to Ripley. I was in my mood where I just wanted to be left alone, didn't want to go out, I didn't want to, the idea of being in public, but something inside me just went, no, go, do it. Something just said, do it. And I did it, and it was the best thing that could have happened because it has really lifted up my mood. I got interacted with my mum again and sort of told her what's been going on. And overall, I just feel so much more like a person and not this burnt out match and a zombie just trying to get through life. I feel like, you know what, if I take it step by step, then I will find my way into that fighting zone where I am able to go back to the techniques I learnt and the talking to my therapist and all this. And that all came from getting some ice cream with my mum and my dog. So sometimes you literally just have to force yourself back into life, no matter what your stubborn self is saying, no matter how crappy you feel, no matter how depressed you feel, no matter how much you want to be alone. Sometimes you have to drag yourself and just go, shut up, no, go. And just see if that's sort of like the jolt that you need to get that fire restarted again. So if you want to see my journey to Ripley and how I sort of became this more energized person, the vlog will already be up on my second channel. And it's a good one, I think. It's what I needed, and I'm just glad that sometimes that is what you need to do. Sometimes you have to drag yourself like a screaming toddler and force yourself back into life and say, look, I've had enough. You've had control for far too long. I am forcing you out of the reins and putting myself back into life and seeing if it does anything. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. Sometimes you just have to go for it and see what it takes you and how it makes you feel. Now, 2 things before I end the video. All the links to follow the group and me personally are all in the description box, because a few of you have wanted to know if you can follow me throughout the week, and they've got my Instagram, Snapchat and all that down below, as well as the group's links as well. And the last thing is, for those people who reminded me and told me if I remembered, yes, the group's 2nd birthday of when I started the support group is coming up soon. It's on the 10th of April, and I haven't forgotten, don't worry, and I will hopefully be doing something, I don't know, a special video, I'm not really sure yet. But thank you for reminding me, I had not forgotten. So I hope you guys are feeling okay this week and have found some happiness. And remember, if you're feeling as crappy as I did, try and force yourself into life and see if it makes a difference. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.